Well guys, this is my Brushless Traxxas Rally's first run on gravel, but typically, as you might gather from the tone of my voice, it has not gone entirely to plan. When I had this in the workshop the other week and I filmed last week's workshop video, the car was running quite quickly, but there was a little bit of cogging at the start with, and I've kind of put that down to the gearing, and it still might be down to the gearing, but I took it down shell stands today for its first run outside on gravel, and it is thunderously quick when it gets going, but that cogging still a little bit of an issue. Anyway guys, watch the video, have your guesses to exactly what's wrong with my Brushless Traxxas Rally conversion, and when I show you at the end of the video exactly what is wrong with the car, you'll be like I was. Horror. Anyway, I'll chat about that in just a minute. Anyway, on with the action, because when this thing moves, it moves really well. Okay guys, well, when it eventually died, were you thinking heat? Were you thinking flat battery? Well, let me get the camera over here, take the lid off and show you just what the problem is, because you weren't going to believe this. Well, we seem to be off to a good start. The car handles very differently immediately from the outset with that centre diff fitted. A little bit more of a handful as well with the brushless power on there. All seems to be going well. Everything's absolutely going like a rocket on there. If you catch that tail slide in time, it just drifts beautifully. But then, very quickly, the power delivery seems to get a little bit erratic. It's fine here, but then, as it comes to come over this hummer, there's just nuts flat out, nothing there, and then the car wheelie's pulling away there, we've got full power delivery, and I think, oh, game on again. So I'm thinking it's maybe stuttering down there. Whoa, mama! And following that little jumps over the whoops there, all seems to be going quite well. Power seems back on without any problem. Now, it is having a few low speed issues, but when it's on it, it's on it. That sounded it. Okay guys, so start giving me your guesses what you think it might be. Just at low speed, it just seems to have no power there at all. And that cogging seems ever present at low speed. But then when it just goes, it absolutely goes like a rocket. But then there's just a couple of seconds later, there can just be no power there at all. So it seems to be going alright at the minute. It's certainly got huge potential. And then there, power dies away to nothing. And it spurts and speeds away again. And we're completely dead. Well, I get it to limp back over to me, and then I apply full throttle, and it's off like a rocket, but then nothing. And this pattern continues. There we're going full throttle, and it's going like an absolute rocket, and then we just die to absolutely nothing again. Very frustrating. And we've got steering, so the power's coming from the ESC, so the ESC's not fried itself. Anyway, that's it guys, we've got steering, but the ESC is completely dead. So, have your guesses right now before I take the car home and do the reveal and show you exactly what's wrong with it. Anyway, let's get back to the workshop. Are you ready for this guys? Now as we can see guys there, very clearly the problem. 3 wires to the motor, only one of them is still attached because 2 wires have come loose. So the cogging in the other video, the chances are there was only 2 wires attached on and one was already coming loose, hence the causing the cogging of the motor in last week's first time run video of this car around the driveway. What's probably then happened is, with one lead being off, excess current goes through the other 2 leads, because instead of 3 leads to taking the current you've only got 2, so I'm guessing maybe one's got warmer and come away from the motor can. So fingers crossed the motor's not got too warm. What might have caused that, I am wondering if it's maybe a combination of going too high on the gearing, but the gearing seemed absolutely fine when I drove it around the yard. It doesn't seem to struggle with it. It was just that cogging issue, which I think was probably down to one of these wires coming loose or already being loose on the car there. But more to the point, did anybody guess that one right, guys? Well guys, just thought I'd zoom in on this and show people on here. The motor wire appears to have nominal solder on there. If you look at the remaining wire, there's quite a bit of heavy solder on there, but both of the connections that are on there, the solder's like completely come away. So I am actually wondering if it has pulled off completely at some point, because there's no solder as such left on there, and there's nothing inside the car where it might have dripped down if it overheated. Most bizarre. Okay guys, well at the same time I'm sensibly dropping down to a 17 tooth pinion whilst I've got the motor out. So guys, I'm still not quite sure what's happened on there, but I am going to buy a better soldering iron tomorrow in order to make a better job of putting the wires back on tonight, because I've been trying it just now and I can't get enough heat into the connection in there to do a really good job. What I did notice though is in between two of the motor terminal contacts there was a tiny little bit of solder on there. So I wonder if one wire had been knocked loose and then the other two, the current had got so much she began to melt the solder, and then the thing would just short out and you would have the full power of the battery just shorting across the leads, which would obviously put a stop to things in a very short time. But these things are sent to testers, and as I say, I showed the bad and the good of my RC life. This car will be running again later on this week. I've put the new pinion, the smaller pinion on there. I think this thing is going to be ferociously fast accelerating with that on there. And the thing as it is, the thing wants to wheelie. It now wants to lift that with the sway bars on, wants to lift the inside rear wheel when it's cornering. So if you don't want to miss the full-on test of this, then don't forget to subscribe. That's how I'm feeling. There's going to be plenty more coming from this car this summer. Quite like an handle of it when it was working right. We hope you liked this video. If you did, please click on the circle image to subscribe. And if you hit subscribe, then don't forget to hit that little notifications bell next to it.